Welcome back, spacefaring Incorrigible to part 3 of Tangled in the Slipstring with Chris Renshaw, as we continue our adventure.
Momo is completely surrounded by all of these rich people that are getting at it, but you're kind of being blocked off from exiting. What are you going to do?
So the original thief guy is right in front of me, right?
Yeah, or like in front of you, beside you, whatever.
Okay, and I can tell they're angry with him.
Yes.
I caught him for you. Here, and I'll push him towards some of them in hopes that they will go after him and let me kind of sneak away.
Okay.
Into the room.
What are you thinking as far as skills-wise?
Could it be wreck? Because I'm, like, causing some kind of physical damage to the thief guy by pushing him into...
I will say wreck only if you just, like, severely uppercut this dude so that he kind of goes flying.
Yes.
And, like, back, and it throws everybody back a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
And get you and it gets you to, so I will allow that.
Okay. That gives me, I have 2 dots, so that's 2 dice.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 5 and a 1.
That's fine. You rolled a 5.
Okay, it's a 5.
So you do manage to uppercut him, but he actually had, this person has had a metal brace put on their jaw. So when you connect with their head, you injure your hand pretty well. I mean, you still send the guy flying, but you see the harm section on there. You're going to take a level 1 harm that's basically like bruised wrist.
Okay.
And just write down bruised wrist. And basically this is the health meter here. And that is when all those boxes filled up, you're taken out of the scene.
Okay, so I punch him, he goes flying into the crowd, and I'm able to sneak into the room.
Oh, except for, I forgot, sorry. Still getting used to running this. You could choose to resist in this game, you can choose to resist any bad effects.
Okay.
By doing what's called a resistance roll. And the way that works is if you look on the playbooks, you'll see in the 3 groups that the first section of dots, there's a line going down.
Yeah. So
for whatever type of task, like in this case, it's going to be a prowess roll. You'll roll like you would, but with the number of dots you have in that first column. And then you will take 6 minus your highest roll stress. You'll automatically take 1 tier lower. So in this case, you wouldn't take any harm at all.
No, I'm good with taking the bruised wrist right now, since it's the first one.
But it looks like you can only take 2 level 1 injuries.
Correct. And after that, if you take any other level 1s, it automatically gets upgraded to a level 2.
Okay.
But you can always choose to resist those as well.
Oh, so 3 is the highest, not... Okay.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's only 1 box for the level 3.
I feel kind of like when we first started recording and playing. Like, I'm literally only knowing the rules by what you're telling me, right? We hadn't read the player's handbook for D&D, nothing.
So with that, you managed to send this dude flying. You're kind of like shaking your wrist off afterwards, but enough people are kind of like watching the guy soar through the air and land, and disperse, that you're managing to sneak around and get into the area, the roped off area.
Okay.
So let's go to Snuffles now.
Okay. So I've been kind of watching this, the outcome of what I've started here. And I see that Momo is kind of getting caught up in this situation unexpectedly.
Right.
What I'm thinking I would like Snuffles to do is to reach into his tool belt and pull out some ball bearings and very stealthily try and roll them, which I'm thinking might use finesse.
That's kind of where I was going.
Towards the group that's this commotion has already started with, and
just to make things even more chaotic.
Yes. And then I want to also sow a little bit of what's the word?
Discontent.
Chaos.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over to another group that might be watching and comment on what's going on to try and just tear this party apart a little bit,
Okay.
if that works for you.
Let's start with the finesse roll.
Sure. So, I have 1 dot in finesse.
So again, you could push yourself to take another dot, or you could just roll the 1.
Yeah, I think I should. So I'll take 2 more levels of stress. 4 and a 1.
Okay. Well, the 4 counts.
Oh,
So
right.
you did succeed, but I'm going to say that someone saw you do it.
Oh, boy.
So you did succeed in rolling the ball bearings out, but one of the waitresses saw you do it, and you can see she's kind of heading to go tell one of her bosses. And I'm going to click the police die down
Okay.
to 3.
Oof, good job, Bill.
So, and by the way, stuff's already being started to the point where cops might get called anyways. It's when I say the police kind of meter, I'm talking like you being the center of attention for the police.
Right. Us getting busted and our plan falling apart, sort of.
Correct.
Okay. Am I able to go over and sow some rumors amongst the crowd?
Yeah, because we'll say I think everybody's been able to go again, so we'll just start the round with you this time again.
In the
Okay.
police meter, sorry, it goes down to -10.
Yes, exactly.
That's, yeah, right? Am I correct?
Sure, but it's already at -7.
In that
I see what
case.
you did there.
I think
Yeah.
-10 is our execution. By the sounds of it.
So if you'll allow it, I'd like to walk over to some of the other crowd that's not part of the VIPs and just chat with 1 or 2 of them. Spread some rumors, maybe.
Okay. This would be more of a consort type thing.
Okay.
Unless, like I said, this is you're just sowing discord at this point. Unless you're being more forceful with that would be more of a sway.
No. I mean, I'd like to use sway, but I for what I'm planning on saying, I don't think it's a very good argument for sway.
Well, I mean, like sway is like I said, you're just trying to be very persuasive with your thing. Consort is just more casually talking, sort of friendly talking, versus sway is you're really trying to convince them of a point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you put it that way, I can make that work. I think.
Okay.
Why don't I? You can have the ultimate say after you hear what I'm going to say to them. If that's fair.
Okay, so you can go ahead and
Sure. So I walk up to this crowd around their little table and say, "Oh my, have you seen the VIPs? I think they got into some of Peyton's feline good, and it really doesn't look like it makes you feel feline good, if you ask me. Perhaps he's made a bad batch."
I would say that is a sway because you're trying to convince them of an argument type thing.
Okay.
So that sounds perfect for a sway.
Do I use more stress?
I don't know. I think everyone's starting to get kind of high on the stress.
I know.
Remind me again how I would recuperate some of those stress levels.
Not until the end. That's if we were playing a campaign.
Okay.
In between sessions, you would be doing the mitigating stress.
I see.
Yeah,
So
there
what
ain't
I've
no
got
time
is
for
what
that.
is what I've got.
Like a
for
long
this.
rest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So I won't spend any more stress at the moment.
The cops are coming.
Bingo. 5.
Nice. So yeah, you're definitely spreading the. In fact, one of the other guys is like, "Yeah, I read somewhere that one of the ingredients he uses causes this kind of behavior. It's one of them psychotropics."
It's certainly something I've heard as well. Bit of a bad look for Peyton.
But since you did, what'd you say? You rolled a 4
5.
or 4? Okay, 4 or 5 still is. I will say that, however, one of the guys recognizes you. And it just calls you out by name in that sense. So, like, you have been placed at this event.
Okay.
Oh, snap. Oh, Snuffles.
All right. I forgot something semi-important when I was explaining out the game, and that is the special abilities on your playbook. Those are, in fact, actual for this setting, and that if
Okay.
you look next to your stats, there are a bunch of special abilities. You're able to, and I guess it works some now because you've at least seen how the system works. At this point, you have one special ability, so you can kind of circle one of those that you'll be able to use for the remainder of
Just
this,
one,
of this
okay.
session. Just one at this point. It's one of those, like, again, as you're doing campaign, you could unlock more and more special abilities.
So if I'm tough as nails, penalties from harm are 1 level less severe.
Okay, so you can reduce you can get rid of your bruised fist, basically.
Yeah.
When it says push yourself, that's the stress?
Yes.
I think I'd like to use Hacker, which makes me much better at tinkering. I'm more silent while doing it. Anytime I tinker, it's very well hidden from casual inspection.
Okay. That kind of buys in. I'll let you take 1 stress off from your flashback, basically.
That.
Okay.
That 1 stress off from your flight. Nobody saw you put in that. We kind of built it that way, but just mechanically give you an extra stress to kind of to take into account that. Anybody else have something that they feel would have affected some of the stuff they've done?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
If I get spotted, yes.
I'm not sure it works that way.
Yeah, it's a flashback. Oh.
Speaking of which, let's go to Beans.
Yeah.
So you're in the warehouse.
Yes, yes.
You were trying to find the goods, but now there's some guards coming your way. What do you do?
I'm a baby black bean with a black belt. I want to hide from the guards.
Sounds appropriate.
So, yeah, the special ability I took, I don't want to use unless I need to, but I took the Devil's Footsteps, where I can push myself to perform a feat of athletics that verges on superhuman, maneuvering to confuse my enemies so that they mistakenly attack each other.
Okay. So that'll be more of when you pounce.
Yeah, so I'm only going to do that if, like, I was seen and then I'm like, all right, shoot.
All right. So it sounds like you're going to do a prowl first.
Yeah.
To hide.
Let's hide. Yep. So I already have 2 dice for that, so let's try that. Oh, a 6 and a 1.
Nice. I think this is the most 6s I've ever seen rolled for this game.
It's perfect.
So yeah, you managed to quickly climb up one of the stacks. I don't know if when the last time you were in a warehouse, but you got all those metal racks that people load crates onto, or think like if you're in a Lowe's
It's
or
like
a
a
Home
Costco.
Depot.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Where like there's forklifts putting like pallets of stuff up. You just happen to climb up one of those, and you're hiding basically on the top level, looking down, and you can see there are 4 guards that are about to round. So there's basically 1 stack that you're up on top of.
And how
Leland
far away from me when I skittered up there was Gundar?
Gundar is basically on the other side of the stack, so it's like if you look at this there's the 1 stack, you're at the top,
Yeah.
Gundar's on the one side, and there's 4 guards on the other side, and you're all
Right.
towards the one edge that's coming around. So
Well, as I jump up, I just kind of like whisper so that hopefully the guards don't hear me, but Gundar hears me. And I whisper, "Take the higher ground."
okay. So speaking of which, what is Gundar gonna do?
I'm just going to stroll right up to the guards and
Oh,
speak to
what?
them.
Okay.
Oh, Captain. My Captain.
Where have you been? Get to the break room now. There seems to be illegal dealings in there. I just would like to try to command them.
It sounds appropriate. They're just kind of confused at this point, but yeah.
I have 2 in command, so I'll just roll 2.
Like the shirtless fancy pants man.
Oh, that is 2 3s.
2 3s.
That together is a 6.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna put the police down to 2 here,
Oh no. Good job, Leland.
and one of the guards is kind of poking you with a stick, and basically going, "Hey, you're not authorized to be in this area, and that's not our job. So stop telling us how to do our job." And they managed to like kind of shove you. You managed to like trip and fall, like not fall in like an injured way, but you just kind of trip backwards.
Sure, okay.
And they're surrounding you at this point.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
All right, let's go to Snuffles.
Gonna make me use my devil's footsteps, Leland. God.
Don't worry. Gunner's got this covered.
These special abilities, sorry, am I understanding correctly? We get to pick one, and or we can use any from the list.
Just the one you picked. So if you picked the hacker one, then that's the one you're stuck with until like your character would level up to a point you'd unlock a new one.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I'm good with that. Okay, so I have created a little bit of bad press for Peyton, and the VIPs are still kind of bumbling around, stoned, and tripping on things.
However, I will say that you all have comms, basically like earpieces, and
That's what I
Oh, nice.
nobody's sent the signal that they've gotten the goods yet.
Yeah.
So you are aware. You don't know what's the problem, but you do know that they haven't found the goods yet.
Okay.
So no kerfuffling yet.
Or if you wanted to head that way, you know which way that Beans went. If you were going to go try and assist them, if you think you've done everything you can do at the party level.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much else that Snuffs can do here.
Start fire.
Oh, Momo will look at you and go, like, give you a head nod, like, go see what's going on.
Yeah, I think I will do that. So I'll try to make my way as best I can to follow where I think that...
Okay. I won't make you roll because there's enough chaos going around that you can slip out.
Okay.
But I'll go ahead and fast. So you kind of enter into the warehouse level right as you see them kind of shove down your captain. So they're kind of, let's say, about like 200 feet down the way on the opposite side of the warehouse from where you are. And you don't see Beans at this point. From your vantage point, you wouldn't see.
All right. I think I'm just going to head to where Gundar is and see what's going on, what he's got himself into.
All right. So let's go to Fudge Muffin. Just happens to be coming up on that loading elevator at this point, right into the warehouse. Same kind of deal. You're in that same position where you see, Snuffles walk. You see Snuffles on one side. You're closer to where Gundar is. I'll say you managed to get there in time to see Beans run up the stacks from your vantage point. You're able to see that. But you see the encounter of the captain getting shoved down.
Okay. So I know this freight elevator leads up to where the party is, where the stash is that we're trying to get, right?
So, like,
We don't know
basically
where the stash is.
the stash is in the warehouse level. Basically, there are samples on the party level. But, like, the idea of the party is to get the deals that they will then ship out from the warehouse to, like, the ships. So that's why, like, the chaos in the party is more to distract the people so that you can sneak away the goods.
Right.
So
Okay.
the warehouse level that 4 of y'all are in at this point is where the goods are. Like the mass quantities of stuff.
Yeah, boy.
So we just got to figure out how to
How to find it.
find out which boxes have that in there.
Yeah. You still got one left on that meter.
Yeah. Are there any like little vehicles that you forklifts or anything
type
like that
vehicles?
around?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and our ship, when we docked in, is that like have like a dock that so I can like load things on, right? So I'm gonna look around. Do I see any like hanging on any hooks, the warehouse uniforms or anything that they might use?
Okay. You did
Or
come.
locker room.
You
maybe.
did come from the break room.
Yeah.
So I will let you, sort of as a flashback, that on your way out you grabbed one of the workers' uniforms.
Perfect. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And I want to put that on and get into the forklift.
Okay.
And as a pilot, pretty good with machines, I'm going to be. I see what's happening here. I see these 2 guards over by the captain, so I'm going to get in the forklift and head over that direction and try to at least fork one of them as I go.
All right. Take 1 stress for the flashback where you grabbed the loading uniform,
Okay.
and then to me that sounds like a wreck.
Okay,
But you
Rick.
could make skirmish if you're trying to be more delicate with how you hit them.
I was sort of thinking I was going to be acting like I wasn't trying to hit them, like I was just going to get a box, and then when I get up beside them, I'm going to do a quick turn and then just try to take the forklifts off the front and knock both of
So
them
that
over.
also could be a finesse.
I would like to use finesse. Yeah. because I have a 2
Truth comes out.
in finesse. Okay, so let's give it a roll. 5 and a 4.
All right. I will say that you do manage to kind of do a Tokyo drift where you hit them and you manage to knock 2 of them aside, but you also hit the captain.
Oh, no.
Right as he was like getting up, you managed to like knock him over. So,
But he always lands on his feet.
Yeah.
There, right?
Gundar's actually going to take a level 1 harm of a bruised arm.
Oh.
Unless, like I said, you could potentially take stress to do a resistance roll.
I may as well. I've literally spent no stress, so.
All right.
Only spending
so
it on
this
yourself.
This is going to be a prowess, so
That's why he's the captain.
yeah, looking down that first row for prowess, how many dots do you have filled in?
None.
None? You don't have anything in finesse, prowl, skirmish, or wreck?
No.
Should have thought
All right,
of that
take
first.
2 die and roll the lowest.
Oh, the lowest is a 1.
All right, so you take 5 stress.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. Well, there you goes. Now you're up
There
there.
we go.
But you don't have that harm anymore, so
Okay.
you can just erase that.
Yeah, so I think the idea was to get the captain sort of free of these guards.
Well,
and
you've
then,
definitely split the group at this point.
and tell him to jump on and try to take off.
Oh, he's gonna jump on the forklift.
All right, I think at this point we need to go to Beans.
Okay.
All right, so Beans is up on top of the racks here.
Yep.
She sees. Sorry, where's Snuffles? Because he's down there too. There's 4 of us.
Snuffles is like behind you at this point, or basically, you know how they came. Why I said they came around the one end of these stacks. Snuffles is basically at the opposite end of these stacks.
And I see Gundar down there, 2 guards. He's trying to convince them. Then I
There's still 4 guards. It's just 2 of them have been
Then
kind
I
of
see
knocked
Fudge
over off to the
Muffin
side.
come take out 2 of them.
At this point, your attention is towards them, so you would not know that unless Snuffles had like said into the comms, "Hey, I'm coming to help you guys."
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they would have done that.
I
for
probably
their-
would have tried to have hailed Gundar.
Okay, so you would have probably heard it, so you at least know he's probably somewhere behind you.
Yeah. And what do the 2 guards that are down look like? Do they look like they could get back up and just hurt Gundar right away, or like are they down for the count?
They're more just confused at what's going on.
Okay.
So they're kind of their head's been rattled a little bit, and they're just kind of like rubbing their head at this point.
Okay, can I do some sort of like observation from my bird's eye view of like maybe where this stash would be? Like where this
Okay, so that
feline
would probably be a survey.
Okay, I've got 1 in survey. So I just roll 1 and take the result, right?
Yep.
Come on, 6. 4.
All right. I will say that you notice that the box that you're standing on smells like catnip.
Nice. Okay.
And you managed to kind of look at the shipping label, and it has Peyton's name on it. So you kind of put 2 and 2 together that right around where you are is where the catnip is. So that resolved that meter.
Okay.
However, when you're moving around, you accidentally knock off one of the empty pallets,
Okay.
or like a box
Yeah.
up here that hits the ground and kind of makes a rattle, and the other 2 guards are now looking right up in your direction.
No, they can't see me. Okay, but in my comms, I say, guys, I'm standing on the stash. Get rid of the guards and we got what we need. Oh wait, that's not my voice. Sorry. I totally forgot. Guys, I'm standing on the stash. Dispose of these guards and we can make away with what we need.
So I'm gonna start a new meter at 6. That's the getaway.
Okay. Woo!
And then let's go to Momo.
I want to look around, make sure nobody's paying any attention to me, and shove stuff in my pockets.
Okay.
It's just a klepto.
Is this are you finessing or are you?
Oh, can I make an argument for prowl? Probably not.
You could make an argument.
You could make an argument in the sense that you're trying to grab things without being seen.
Yes, that is what I am doing.
So
Like stealth.
okay, yeah.
So that gives me 1 die, and then if I stress, I would get a total of 2 dice.
Yep.
I think it's dies.
That is. Got a 6 and a 5.
Wow.
Damn.
Nice.
All right. Yeah,
Dang.
you are. So what kinds of things are you grabbing?
Well, obviously the little samples of catnip.
Obviously.
Any of those little bottles of cream. And
Ooh, like
the
little
airplane
little
bottles?
shooters,
Yeah.
Every
And,
time we say cream, I think of like lotion that you put on your hands or your
That
face or something.
Sweet,
I'm
nice
thinking like
hand lotion.
Bailey's, basically.
Liquid whipped
Yeah,
cream.
they-
I have to remind myself this is cream you drink. Sorry, carry on.
Are there any is there any string laying around, or what else is there?
Oh yeah, there's like a table full of a roulette table.
Oh,
where
string.
people are. There's a roulette table where people have got like bets played, like tiny balls of string.
I'll grab
they're
a
using as
couple
bets.
of those, but not too many. I don't want it to be obvious that it's all missing.
Gotcha.
So if somebody looks over, they'll see some string and think that everything's fine. This is my hopes.
Got
so
it.
I'll just take a couple.
There's some anchovies on a platter over there.
And then I'll try and get out.
Okay, so as you start to, you've grabbed a bunch of things and you've basically started heading out. So then we'll swipe back over to the warehouse and let's go to Gundar, who has been knocked around a little bit, and suddenly got a little torn asunder by a
roving
forklift.
Forklift, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gundar's pissed. He can get up, smacks off his pants, get the dust off of him, and the captain is one not to be trifled with. So I'll use one of my special ability. I can push myself. So is that like 2 stress to push, or is it just 1 stress?
Yes.
Okay, so 2 stress.
2 stress.
Push yourself. One of the following: I can perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman. But I'm gonna engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wah wah wah.
So I guess I'm gonna start fighting them.
All right. But you don't have anything in skirmish, didn't you say?
Yeah, that's true.
This is a cat fight.
So, but you to use your ability, you will push yourself.
Yeah.
So that does give you 1 die. So you took the 2 stress.
Okay.
And then since you're using your ability, I'll give you a bonus die out of that.
Okay. Still a 1.
Leland, come
I
on.
rolled Snake Eyes.
Put your heart into it.
2 1s. Wow.
This is why I delegate.
We're not
This
playing
is why
Can't
I'm
Stop,
usually
Leland.
DM.
All right. So you're rattled around a whole bunch. So you go to swing and just like stumble again, and like they just kind of back up. But one of them calls basically on their radio and is like, "We got stuff going down here on the warehouse level. We're gonna need backup." And now your police is at 1.
Oh,
Oh no.
Actually, we're gonna say that that's completely resolved. So they're on the police are on their way. So that'll start. You've basically got 2 meters now. Get away or get caught.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
And we're at 6 on the getaway,
On
right?
both. Both are still at 6.
How much of this product are we expected to take? Like 1 box is sufficient, or like are we supposed to take as much as we can and like rob them blind?
You were supposed to get at least some. The amount that Momo has gathered so far would be enough, but you were basically there was promised the more you get, the more
Yeah.
That's fine.
money. Plus you know that that Fudge Muffin will be able to sell any extra.
Yeah,
that
I
you-
want whole stash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm standing on a big old stash, but how are we gonna? Yeah.
I'll get you.
So, speaking of which, do we want to go to Parsnips over here? And do you want to try and are you going to try and help the captain, or are you going to try and grab the stuff?
No, the captain's taking care of himself. I know he can take care of himself, even though
Really?
he's not doing a very
You've
good
been
job of it right
delegated
now.
to go get stuff. So.
Yeah, so I'm gonna swing the forklift in full motion and be pulling the forklift up and headed over towards Beans, because I know where she's at.
Yeah.
I saw her, and I know that she's on the box. So I want to get as much of this stash as I possibly can.
All right, that'll
on the
be a
forklift.
finesse then, probably.
Yeah, so I'm gonna spin it around and pull it up and go, I'm a leaf on the wind, and try to
Right as
get
one of the sticks impales you.
Yeah. Oh God. No.
Well, let's see how I roll. So I'm going to use finesse, which is 2, and I'm going to try to get the forklift underneath the pallet to be able to pull her and the whole thing off if possible. Okay, that is a 1 and a 3.
All right.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
You're still figuring out the controls, and instead of grabbing the fork, you managed to hit the entire stack.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide, I want you to knock the entire stack over, or no, but you hit the stack, and I'm going to start a new meter that is only going to be at 3. And the new meter is the strength of the stack is already starting to you start hearing some metal fatigue going on.
Okay, that's 3.
And you can feel, and Beans, you can feel like you have sunk a little bit down. Like you can feel this thing is wanting to collapse.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, Fudge Muffin? Fudge Muffin!
Which I think it's Beans' turn. Or no, let's go to Snuffles.
Okay. If I'm able to, I'd like to close the distance between
Yeah,
myself
you're
and
fine.
Fudge Muffin, and I know a thing or two about getting machines to. Let's just say I'm going to overclock this this forklift. Yeah, so I pull out my tools, and I'm going to say, Fudge Muffin, let's see if we can get this thing to really purr. And I'm gonna tinker around with the engine and the transmission or what have you, and hope that I can give this thing some extra juice.
You're gonna mess with the bits.
Yes.
I gotta show my 90s a little bit here. Has anybody seen Down Periscope?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Sorry.
There's a part where like they got like this crusty old man that's the engineer for the submarine, and he pulls out a bottle of whiskey and pulls it in, and it puts it in the engine, and it says it's like it thins out the mix, gives us an extra 15 RPM or something like that. That's like just what I'm imagining you're doing.
Yeah.
Like he takes a swig for it and just like dumps the entire bottle into the engine.
Only it's cream
Exactly.
instead of whiskey.
Cream.
I'm just imagining something similar. Okay, so let's get a tinker roll.
Whipping cream.
Whipping cream.
So whipping it.
Roll with advantage for Tinker.
No, I'm thinking like whipping cream is when you want to like clog something up. You just like stick the can in there, and it just like gunks it up and keeps everything from moving.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I got a 4 and a 1.
Okay.
So I guess I take the 4, right?
Yes. Yeah. So you definitely hear this thing, but Fudge Muffin didn't have his foot completely on the brake when you did. So you did it, and it roared.
Oh no.
And it kind of went up on two. Well, it's either if it was on wheels, it'd be 2 wheels, but like hovering wise, you hear it kind of like arch backwards, and then it kind of like as he gets control of it, it arches forward again and bumps the rack again. So now its stability is down to 2.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But now it is purring pretty hard at this point. So let's go to Gundar.
Okay, well, fighting didn't seem to work. I think I'm just gonna try to get onto the forklift then,
Okay.
and like hop on the back. And
Like, what's your goal? Are you just trying to get out of the fight? Or are you trying to get to...
yeah, I'm trying to get away from the guards, get over to Fudge Muffin,
Okay.
and yeah, just bark orders again, I suppose.
I'll let you roll command if you want.
I don't see how it could help. I'm just like, Fudge, like, get the stash. Beans, get the hell down here. Like,
Also, there's a lot of chaos going on, so I could entertain an attune roll if you have any in that.
okay.
As kind of you're using instincts to kind of like get out of the
Get
way.
away from them? Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. Okay. I do have 2 in a tune.
Oh.
5.
Yeah, so you kind of all your fur is on end, and like everything's going south. Something bad is about to happen. So you kind of like flip backwards and manage to like get on the back of, and like this completely impressive move. You manage to get on the back of the
Forklift.
the forklift right as it like arcs down after he's done some tampering. So like this thing comes down, and then you kind of like jump on top of this thing. So let's go to Momo.
Okay, so I'm hoping they're all still paying attention to the thief guy and like pouncing on him. So
Yep.
I want to prowl out of the room and try and
Yep, because you definitely see some cops coming in.
yeah, I'm gonna say that in the comms. Cops are here. As I am trying to prowl out.
And you can see them directing some of them to head towards like the warehouse level.
Okay, cops are here. Cops are coming at you. I rolled a 4 for prowl.
Okay. So you managed to get away, but so I'll drop your getaway down to 5, but I'm also going to drop the get caught down to 5 because only one of them sees you running and manages to is behind you basically running after you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely running towards the warehouse where the door that I saw Beans go out earlier. And
All right, let's go back to Mr. Muffin over here.
Okay. So the forklift sort of goes, and I kick back and it hits the shelving and it starts to rattle a little bit.
Yep.
So I sort of spin it over and I give it one more good shot, and I'm going to try to jam this thing right into the side of the stash, whatever it takes to get a good catch onto it.
Okay.
And then try to pull it back. My goal is just to get this off the shelf and drag as much of it as I can to the ship.
Okay. That sounds like another finesse roll.
Yeah, that's a 1 and a 1.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, it was Gundar's bad luck that rubbed off on the forklift.
Man.
All right. So
I think Beans is going for a ride.
There you go.
yeah, you miss again.
There you go, Chris.
You miss again, but instead of hitting the rack, you ran the forks right through the box of the stash. So now catnip is just coming down off of the off of the thing, and
Feeling good everywhere.
and then Beans, you are sent flying because you were still up top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Beans is sent flying. That's still with the rack stability is down to 1 now, but you've also ripped the stash in half as well. But luckily, it is on the forklift. You do have half of it. It's just the longer it sits there, the less of it is going to be on
I was
there.
gonna say, when I go flying, am I still holding the box I was holding?
Like a plank of it,
Okay.
Okay.
which I think brings us to your turn anyways.
Okay. What are the guards doing again?
They honestly don't know what to do because they are just kind of... You've got half of them that are still... Their bells are being rung. The other ones are they're pulling guns.
Right.
You've also got... You're starting to hear police come down the
So
way.
Snuff and Fudge are on the forklift.
Yep. The guards that are standing, they are
What about Gundar?
aiming at-
Gundar's on the forklift?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then Momo, do I see her yet or no? As I'm flying.
No, she wasn't heading your way. She's going straight to the ship.
Okay. All right, well, what I'm going to do is push myself and perform a feat of athletics, verging on the superhuman. And, I mean, it says that I maneuver myself to confuse my enemies to mistakenly attack each other. I don't... My whole plan originally, before the shelf was coming down and I went flying, was to, like, throw boxes in different directions and they start, they're startled and think they need to attack there or whatever. But I'm hoping I have a little bit in my hand, and I just want to do, like, a superhuman athletics check to, like, get back to where everyone's at, like, land down on the forklift or something. On the roof
All
of
right.
it.
Yeah. What I'm witnessing is like you go flying in the
Yeah.
air, but you manage to catch like one of the raptors and flip your momentum around,
Right.
and like collide with one of them to send it into the other guy, so he thinks he's getting hit by the guy behind him.
Sounds good.
So
that takes 2 stress.
Yeah, that's a stress, but I mean, I could see finesse, I could see skirmish or wreck,
Finesse is the only thing I have, like, skill in. So let's finesse that, I guess. And that's just still 1 die, if that's what I have.
But you pushed yourself, so you get 2 die.
Literally snake eyes, you guys. I'm not even kidding right now. Look at that.
Our luck is turning.
This is unreal.
This is the law of averages.
All right. So the stack is completely demolished now. She misses both of the people and instead rams right into the rack, breaking the last of its strength as all the goods start coming down. Also, at this point, the police are now in the area with guns drawn, so the get caught is down the floor. So things are rough.
Meow.
Let's go to Snuffles.
Momo's the only one that's
So we'll say that you're kind of in the middle. Everything's starting to come down, and everything's falling, and you're all either on both sides where the rack was. So, and you're on the forklift. So some of that is going to start boxing you in as stuff lands on the forklift and like kind of all around. So maybe I need to go to Fudge Muffin first on how he's directing this.
How I'm directing the forklift?
Yeah, as the rack's coming down. You still have some of the stash on the forklift.
Yeah. So what I'm going to use one of my special abilities called Daredevil. When you roll a desperate action, which I think we're in a
very
situation
much, yes.
This is a desperate action. You get 1 die for your roll. You also take -1 die to any resistance rolls against the consequences from your action.
Okay.
So I am going to, since this thing is hopped up, I'm going to just turn it as fast as I can, and I'm headed directly for the ship, no matter what's in my way.
Okay.
I'm going to take it out, and I grab the captain. I go, let's get to this ship, and then you drive it in. Like, I'm going to take off. So the idea is I'm going to spin it around, have him get in my place. I'm going to jump on the front and then try to get in to start the ship up.
Okay.
There's a lot going on there. So I get, I would like to do finesse once again.
Yeah.
If that's,
so
if that
you get a
makes sense.
bonus die for this then.
So I get 3.
Come on, 3 ones.
I got a 1, a 3, and a 4.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you managed to flip it in reverse, which unfortunately throws even more of the stash off when you like whip it back into forward, and some of the stuff momentum-wise kicks off. So we will drop you to 3 on getting away, but you are also at 3 for the cops, because clearly in all the confusion, they just see it obvious as a forklift goes bounding in the opposite direction with a bunch of goods on it.
Leaving it.
I'd say with all this catnip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this catnip flying around. I think the captain.
You're leaving a trail behind you.
Yeah. The captain and I have a pretty good tolerance, right? So we can take it for a little while. Everybody else,
we're not getting that contact high right away like everyone else.
That's right. But everybody else, I think, is probably
okay.
They've not.
So in my head, I'm imagining
good.
that at this point, still Fudge is still in the driver's seat, and I'm imagining Gundar and Snuffles are holding on to the back of it, so you can see the cops running behind you. If Snuffles, you want to do something to help your getaway.
Yeah, I would wager that I carry around quite a few ball bearings at all times.
Okay.
So I'd like to take the remainder of them and do my best to roll them in the direction of the cops pursuing us.
All right. What skill are you thinking?
It's probably finesse again. That's what I used last time, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cats and ball bearings.
This is just so weird.
And I'm gonna take
Couple
2
marbles.
stress for this.
You think they'd just go?
Yeah.
So 5 and a 4. So I got a 5 is my best.
All right. You managed to some of them have are getting rolled away. You managed to smack one in the face with one of the ball bearings, and he's trying to get it out of his fur. And so you managed to distract some of them. You still do have some on your tail, but I will drop you down to a 2 now on getaway. And then let's go to Gundar.
I guess I'm gonna have to try to grab the steering wheel here.
Yeah.
And
That's going to be the finesse you have 0 in.
yeah.
Well, he could get any worse than I am, and I have a good finesse.
Could I maybe use my survey to plot a course as I'm driving and try to find a route that would be hitting the fewest obstacles?
That's perfectly fine, considering at this point you're not exactly trying to be sneaky getting away.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how we are struggling so much with the pilot of a spaceship and the captain of a spaceship trying to man a forklift.
It's a crap forklift.
Well, you got to
should
remember
see this
they've got it's a crap forklift.
We don't have
You've
opposable
overclocked
thumbs.
it.
It's just difficult.
Yeah. Also, there's catnip raining down, so you're a little bit distracted and a little bit stoned while you're doing all this.
I picture the guards just laying down the catnip and rolling around.
So, the guards actually are. The cops are the ones chasing you. The guards are just like, we're not paid enough.
I do have 1 in survey, so I'm stuck with whatever
Okay.
around here. It's a 1!
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
What the heck?
You could have pushed yourself to get an extra die.
I could have, but I would have
It would
filled
just be
my
another
stress
one.
meter.
It would have
I
just been
think I'm
another
gonna
one.
save my last 2 stress in case something really
We're
bad.
Well-
2 left for getaway.
So one thing we haven't really invoked yet is the Devil's Bargain,
Oh, right.
and that is where I will give you I'll give you an extra die, but I'm gonna make things probably worse in some circumstance.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
could they get worse?
I would like to enact the devil's bargain then.
Okay.
Well, we're all dead. Because the only explanation, that's all we can
exactly.
do to get worse.
Captain's gonna be dead.
It doesn't necessarily mean worse in the sense of like
Our goal.
getting away. But yeah, okay, here we go. What happens is that I'll give you the extra die, but I'll say the Devil's Bargain is on that stack of stuff that fell was also some of Dorian's product as well.
Ooh.
So he's not going to be entirely thrilled that he loses some of his
We
goods
just trash
as well.
this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Better be a 6, Leland.
Okay, 5. 5 this time.
All right.
Ooh, okay. It's only gonna be for 1 ball of string, but whatever.
So you're like laying on the horn and like you're moving stuff around, completely forgetting that there was a service elevator that you could have taken.
I never
and
knew
all
about.
and all the commotion that you never knew
Yeah.
about. So you're like rip roaring down think like at Gen Con, those like corridors in between the rooms. You're like ripping down them, just spraying catnip everywhere, and like you're not even stopping for the door. You're just like going ramming through doors with the forklift.
A regular Johnny Appleseed with his
Just
catnip.
getting and you're like roaring into the port base or the docking bay at this point. I just want to imagine this from Momo's point of view, as you're like, I imagine you're just at the ship, like just like, where is everybody?
We could have used the muscle in that warehouse, I tell you what.
Hey, I went and got the ship ready.
She's a klepto.
Like, I opened the door.
You can't drive the ship.
I
You're
opened
sitting
the
there.
door, she
opened the
says.
door.
Way back
I
in your
opened the
car.
door.
She opened the ship ramp, and she's like, I got the ship
I started the ship. I turned the heat on. Your seat warmer's on. Come on.
Not remembering that, like, I'm assuming either Gundar or Fudge probably has like a remote that opens the door. In fact, you were probably like in the middle of finding the button to lower the ramp when the ramp like lowered, and you think you opened the door.
I am magic.
Your mind opened it.
Like, why won't this door open? And then it opens. You're like, man, is this ship psychic?
One of those words I said made it open.
All right. Let's go to Beans at this point. We never resolved how you got out of the room.
Yeah, I don't know that I did.
All right. So you still, like, you do know about that. You did see, so there is that service elevator available if you wanted to try and get to that.
Yes, let's do that. Service elevator, please. Yeah, I don't know what I would use to get there. Let's see.
Well, at this point, we could make a case that when we say prowl, you're not sneaking. You're just more trying not to draw any more attention to you because they've drawn most of the attention.
Okay, so I'm like prowling, but I'm also just trying to...
You're just bolting, but you're just trying not to draw any more attention to
Yes,
yourself.
I'm bolting, and while bolting, grabbing any catnip raining down on me. To put in my pockets. Because I wanna study and figure
I
out.
imagine you're all just going to be covered in like green catnip.
It's really good that I'm a
except for
frequent user
Momo.
because I'm now like kind of less sensitive, right? Okay, so we'll prowl. That's 2 die. Let's snake eyes again here. Oh, 2 4s.
2 4s. All right. So yeah, we'll say that you do manage to get to the lift, and you manage to get down there in the same amount of time it takes for everybody on the forklift to like roar up the thing. And you manage to actually, you don't even need to stop the forklift. Your cargo holds big enough that you just roar the forklift like into the ship. And then when Gundar hits the brakes, Fudge Muffin goes flying and like
Right.
grabs one of the rails and just bolts into the cockpit.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, as you go to at this point, because you've managed to get away, as you go and put this in gear and storm out of the ship, one of the port workers comes storming out of the break room holding a clipboard. What is he saying?
You forgot your receipt.
And that's where like the curtain call. That's where credits start rolling.
Nice.
Yay!
Yay.
All right.
That was fun.
Another successful mission for the Incorrigible Express.
There you go.
Successful.
Successful,
Yes.
semi-successful.
Dorian's gonna
We
be
define our
pissed.
own success.
I really like the countdown thing.
Yeah, that's
I was
cool.
gonna say I really like that. That adds a lot of pressure.
And then it's like your one action has to count as you're not really rolling initiative and like doing. It's not like a damage. It's more against the clock. Yeah, totally
Right.
different system.
And it's
yeah.
it also helps you because it's not a you can help without like you can help in multiple ways. You know, everything everybody is doing is helping in some way towards achieving the goal. Whether it's I'm punching someone to distract them or I'm hacking a
Momo's
forklift.
just getting us loot that we wouldn't have got otherwise. You know, like
Yeah.
it's some other goal.
And so the kind of the mechanics that you would see if you were doing a campaign thing is this is the parts I haven't fully figured out how we're going to separate from if we're going to separate from blades, but there's like a heat that you would generate that would obviously you would have generated more heat based on all the destruction and damage you did, plus the fact that you've probably got less influence with Dorian now because you distract from the Devil's Bargain that we had. There's also, you're not getting as much goods from the fact of you didn't get as much as you were intending to, but you do all manage to get some experience if you wanted to keep track of these characters for a potential.
Sure.
Yeah, I like
let's
I
take
like
it.
Snuffles.
All right. So if you look down, there is an XP box towards almost at the bottom.
Yep.
So let's start, Emily. It'll say you addressed a challenge with, and it'll have a box filled in
Violence.
with violence. So it's mark 1 XP if you did it, or 2 XP if it occurred multiple times. I'm trying to think because I'm only really thinking of the once that you managed to did something with violence, and that was the big
Yeah, you
uppercut
punched-
kind
Yeah.
of moment.
Yeah.
Other than that, you managed to talk your way out of most things.
My hair trigger wasn't as triggering this day.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
not.
So, in your up at the top, you see there's the playbook, and there's a bunch of the little bookmark looking things.
Yes.
Fill in one of those little tick marks. I don't know if you experience. We didn't really get into the expressing your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Actually, I'll give you a point for that because we did talk about you managed to deal with the potential of one of the guys messing with you. And I don't think you rolled really in a desperate action.
No.
All right. So then, Gundar, what is your expressing addressed a challenge with?
Leadership.
I think it did happen multiple times. You didn't succeed, but you did attempt.
Well, theoretically, every single action in which the crew took was delegated by Gundar, so I think that's like 15, 20 XP.
No, unfortunately, if it's multiple times, it's just 2.
Okay, I'll take
so
it.
just fill in 2 with your playbook. Also, under insight, fill in. You see, there's another row there. Fill in 1 for insight because you definitely were in a desperate position on that last roll.
Yeah, cool.
And then, like, I don't know if you did any. Let's see, beliefs, drives, vices, traumas. No, not this time. So then, John, what's your challenge?
Dexterity.
Dexterity. You definitely get 2 in your playbook track.
Okay. And then, it says beliefs, heritage, and all that. We just talked through that.
Yeah.
But struggled with issues from a vice trauma. Now, over here I have vice/traumas like faith, gambling, luxury, obligation,
Yeah, we
pleasure.
didn't really fill in that part because that's something I'm still working on, that piece. But it's just more of, in the story, you didn't really have to struggle with any sort of problems, per se.
I was going to say catnip
Yeah,
issues.
we all have catnip issues.
I really, really wanted the catnip.
That's true. You did have the All right, so I will give you... we'll give you, 3 experience overall in your playbook.
Perfect.
And then mark 2 in your prowess, because you definitely multiple times were doing desperate actions rolls in that regard.
Great. Okay.
All right. So then, Bill, what is your XP?
So mine asks if I addressed a challenge with a technical skill.
It definitely happened. That's twice.
Yeah, so I was going to say the time I tinkered with the forklift and also that improvised
the capsule
device.
flashback.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, two playbook experience.
And then when it comes to, I think in a similar respect as far as the catnip addiction, but I didn't really roleplay that out at all. I didn't make it apparent that I was struggling with, so I don't think I would really qualify for that.
Right.
But I could have.
But I will give you a desperate action in insight.
Okay.
So mark 1 on your insight track. Just kind of, because it's supposed to be anytime you do roll a desperate action. We didn't clarify it just because we were in the middle of the session, but you at least had it once where you were rolling in a desperate action. And then, so Elaine, I don't know how much you heard before.
I'm picking up.
Before or after.
I'm picking up on
Okay,
it.
so
I was supposed to have a challenge with stealth.
Yep, I've got yours is the sheet I have pulled
Yeah.
up. So you definitely addressed the challenge with stealth at least once. I'm just trying to think if it happened.
Well, I
multiple
disappeared from the
times.
party, and then I jumped up onto the rack. So there's 2.
Yep. So on if you look at the top where there's a
Yeah.
playbook and there's a set of dashes
Yeah.
there, fill 2 of those
Yep.
in.
And then I was thinking I used prowess once as a desperate action. I only did it once
sure.
though. I left 2 in case I had to do it again.
Yep. I was going to say the same thing. So I think that's got everybody as far as XP. And the way things would go is, if your playbook fills up, I believe that's when you would pick a new
second
special
skill,
ability. Yeah, and if one of the individual stats were to fill up, you would then get a new dot in something.
Oh, okay. That's neat.
Cool.
And there you go.
Awesome.
That's kind of the as far as the one session, and then it would be the next time that if we were to play again, the next time we would talk about the impacts from the previous session plus talking about your downtime, what you're doing to lower your stress back down.
I'd hate to see how the ship's
Right.
It's just kind of doing side to side rolls.
That's right.
Autopilot. You've got a good autopilot
I
figured
feel
out.
like he's fighting the autopilot. Though.
Yeah.
The autopilot's trying to keep it
Yeah.
straight, and he just keeps yanking it to one side or the
You
other.
don't know what you're doing.
And, forklift
Yeah.
flashbacks. That was fun.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I like that.
Whew.
No problem.
Man, being a cat. It's good life.
So, do you have some of the lore or some of the system that you've worked on anywhere for people to be able to try, or is that something in the future?
So this is all still very early.
Right.
So right now, the biggest thing that we're working on is just writing a bunch of lore pieces. We're still at the part where we haven't gotten the setting fully fleshed out. So what we've been doing is just writing short vignettes of stories, and each one just introduces a new piece
Right.
that just kind of gets our brains working in a new direction.
That's cool.
And then eventually what we'd like to do is take some of those stories and compile them into like a book at that point, and then like maybe do like a Kickstarter for like the fiction, and then use that to help maybe get us funds towards doing something, getting artwork done for like a book. But this is still like years out. Looking at going to boardsandswords.com and just keeping track of that is probably the best way. Of just any announcements we make will be on there.
Great.
If you want to hear more of it, we'll be doing for our patrons, we'll be doing a full campaign of the game. It'll be an ongoing campaign. It'll be me running it with our co-host Philip, Colin, and Cindy, and Calvin will actually be in on that campaign as well.
Great. That's awesome.
So going to the patreon.com/boardsandswords is how you'll get access to that if you want to hear that on more misadventures. Great.
Well, thank you very much for coming on and sharing this with us. This was a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to the final product. Absolutely.
Well, I felt like Emily deserved to have some part of it, considering she helped create the artwork that we've been using, kind of album art for it.
Critical
hit
design.
That's a huge plus in the favor of this RPG.
Yeah.
It's going to have some great art. I really enjoyed it. This was really fun for something that's very different from what we're used to playing.
We'll get some cat noises sent in, right? And
yeah. That is so. Like I said, other than the setting, everything is still fairly taken out of Blades in the Dark, and in fact, even all the special abilities are just picked from the existing Blades in the Dark playbook. So, if the system itself is interesting, I'd encourage people also to go to that. To Evil Hat Publishing's website, they've got it, or I think it's just bladesinthedark.com. There's also a set of books because they made the system open, so they have a Forged in the Dark where a bunch of other, like I think there's one of them that's like you can play the game as if you're in like a medieval European style thing. There's also like I think there's like a magical girl one that's in development right now, sort of thing. So lots of unique ways to take the system. And in fact, if anybody participated in that, there was that itch.io bundle for racial equality that was done back in like June. You technically own Blades in the Dark then.
Nice.
Well, there we go.
It was one of the
okay.
it was one of the games that was in that
awesome.
bundle.
Many of us have it then.
yeah, we have it.
Yeah.
There's so much in that bundle.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
Huge.
It's wild.
There's actually a spreadsheet that has a list
that's
of
so
like everything.
handy. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to link
We
us
need to
that
look through
because
that
I'm
RPG
overwhelmed
list,
with.
yeah.
I'm overwhelmed with how much stuff's in that.
We were taking a look because it's hard to find there because there's so many video games.
Yeah.
It's hard to find where the RPGs are, so it's got it broken down. But me and some of the co-hosts were looking at it. We think we may just like start playing some of them on our show.
Yeah.
But there's like 600 of
Whoa,
them. So
no way.
We're just tempted. We're tempted to just like roll dice and just randomize
Yeah.
people.
Roll 6 percentile die and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. I really enjoyed the system itself for sure, and I think it's a great candidate for us to put in one of our lists on our Patreon campaign stuff that we've been doing.
Yeah, it's an option, right? And we're understanding it a little bit better. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So thanks very much for sharing that with us. I've never played Blades in the Dark at all, so that was also great.
And I'm just gonna if I messed up Blades in the Dark for anybody that does listening to that, I'm just gonna say whatever. It's a new game.
Yeah.
Rules are just
It's
suggestions,
Slipstring rules.
really.
Tangle. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, I'll wrap it up here. I'll start off. I've been John and Fudge Muffin the Third, also Parsnips.
I've been Emily and Momo.
I'm Elena, and I played Beans.
I've been Bill, and I played Snuffleupaket, also known as Snuffs or Snuffles.
And I'm Leland Steele. I've been Gundar.
And I'm Chris Renshaw, and I played everybody else.
Happy adventuring.